Thanks for joining me today on Susan's Cozy Kitchen while I'm making my special, delicious ranch deviled eggs. So let's get going with my ranch deviled eggs. I'm only making deviled eggs for 2 people right now, and since they're only good for 2 days in the refrigerator, I didn't want to make an extreme amount. What I did last night, I hard boiled all of these eggs, and then I drained the water, put them in a bowl, stuck it in the refrigerator, and got them cold. Have a bowl to throw the shells in. So let's give it a good crack all around. And yeah, that peeled perfectly. I'm going to finish peeling the rest of those and then we'll move on. Okay, so they have been peeled, rinsed, and then I dried the places where the eggs sit so that I wasn't sitting them back down into a little puddle of water. Next, I'm going to cut the eggs in half, nice and gently, so that everything goes out nicely. And then I will just put the whites back in here, and I'm putting the yolks in this bowl. And I'll continue doing that until I have them all cut. And if when you boil your eggs and they come out green on the outside, that isn't a problem. It just means that you overcooked your eggs. This side is fine, but got another one over here that's falling apart, so I'm going to put those 2 together, and then these I will use for something else. So I have 10 halves I'll be filling, and now I'm just going to mash the egg yolks a little bit. I like to do this to get started so that I'm not mashing the yolk and all the other stuff too. I want to be able to mix everything else in. So I do it to kind of this crumb point. You can see that there's still a few larger pieces in there, but it's mostly crumbly at this point. This is what I do and how I do it, and I need to tell you up front, I don't measure. If you're using fewer eggs, use less of this stuff. If you're making more eggs, use more of this stuff. Really, I just sort of throw everything in, mix it up, taste it, and then adjust from there. The first thing that goes in is mayonnaise. And this is totally not sponsored, but I just have to tell you, I'm a Duke's girl. Duke's, I love you. Y'all, this is the only mayo to have in your kitchen. Just saying. For this amount, I'm going to put in this amount of mayo to start with. That's a heaping tablespoonful. I may add more later, but for now, that's what I'm putting in. Ranch dressing. I told you these are ranch eggs, and that was probably 2 tablespoons of ranch dressing. Now, you can't have deviled eggs without a little bit of mustard. I only put a tiny bit. I will maybe put a teaspoon of mustard in. And this is just plain yellow mustard, nothing fancy. It's not Dijon or spicy brown or anything like that. It's just plain yellow mustard. Some sweet relish. And again, I don't put a lot, and I try to get a lot of the juice in with it. And there's a teaspoon, and if it needs more, I'll add it later. I'm only going to put 1 teaspoon in to begin with. Need some black pepper, and I do the freshly ground black pepper, so I'm going to do a few grinds of that. You can put fresh onion in there. I am out of onions right now and I'm getting ready to go on vacation, so I'm using some onion powder and I'm going to sprinkle in, that was probably somewhere around 1/4 of a tablespoon, maybe just a little bit more. And then the last thing I want to add will be a spoonful of ranch dressing mix. So I like to add the already pre-made, but I also like to add the mix. So I'm going to sprinkle that in, and that was 1 spoonful. And now I'm going to mix all of this together. And it looks good. It's nice. It's got that nice yellow color that you want it to have. It's time to just give it a little taste and see if you need to adjust any of the seasonings. Okay. I spend a lot of time holding it, tasting it, rolling around on my tongue, trying to figure out what's missing. I'm very analytical about that when I taste something. This is a little bit bland right now. It needs some salt. So I'm just going to sprinkle a little bit of salt in there, not a lot. As I said, it's kind of bland, so I'm going to go for a little bit more ranch seasoning from this. Here's another teaspoon. Just to bump it up a little bit, I'm going to sprinkle in some dill. That will help with the ranchness of it. A little bit more of the liquid ranch. That's probably another 1/2 tablespoon. And I think it needs some more of this. I'm going to add another teaspoon of the pickle relish. And let's mix this together. Okay, another taste with a clean spoon. All right. Okay, the salt was good. It definitely, it needed that salt. Has plenty of pepper in it. I'm gonna add a little bit more of the dry ranch. No, I'm not. I think it just needs time for the flavors to blend. That's why you always want to do this earlier than you're going to serve it. I think if I add anything else to this, it's going to be too much. So this is ready now to go into my egg whites. There are a variety of ways that you can get your egg yolks back into your egg whites. You can spoon it in. You can put it in a piping bag, you can put it in a Ziploc bag and cut off a corner, or you can use one of these. This is actually from Pampered Chef. It's a decorator thing, but I use this the most for my deviled eggs. Spoon it in. And again, not sponsored by Pampered Chef. This is just something I have in my kitchen that I use and I love and highly, highly recommend. It has a variety of tips that you can use, and this is my favorite thing to use it for. And then I always like to flip it this way to start pushing the air out. Okay, and now just, it's nice and simple, just push and fill. Everything is done except for the finishing touch, which is to add some paprika on top. The first time I made this, I wasn't sure. So I made half of them with regular paprika. The other half I put smoked paprika on. They said, go for the smoked. They loved the extra smoky flavor that it added. There you go. There's a platter of delicious deviled eggs. If you enjoyed today's video, please be sure and give it a big thumbs up. If you've not already, please do subscribe to my channel. I would appreciate it very much. While you're there, ring the notification bell so that you find out every time I upload a new video to YouTube. And as always, the full recipe along with tips, tricks are in the description box below. Please do check that out. Thanks for watching. God bless.